Welcome back to the Better Late Than Never Club. I'm Beck.
And I'm Frost.
And tonight, we're doing a legal drama film.
Is that like the opposite of a crime?
Well, I guess an opposite of a crime would be a legal.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, that's fair.
This is half of a crime.
Yeah.
Just a legal drama.
Yeah.
Specifically, we are doing something that I think the world is running particularly short of lately. A Few Good Men.
I appreciate that. I appreciate where you took that. That was good. I'm here for it. And also, I haven't seen it.
Me neither.
Like, I thought I had because I know that one iconic line by Jack Nicholson.
You can't handle the truth.
But I can't think of anything else about the film. Mm-hmm. So...
Not even anyone else who's in it?
I'm sure as soon as you say some names, I will know.
Because there's some names.
There's some names. I know that this is going to sound so vague. I know that the lawyer who questions Jack Nicholson just before that line is a famous person, and it's just escaping me who that is. But I can't, it's not coming to me.
Well, I don't know who specifically plays that role, but I will be telling you more about the cast.
Sure.
So let's talk A Few Good Men. 1992, legal drama, did well, budgeted like 40 mil, box office like 240 mil.
And this is at the height of when people like Jack Nicholson were like the big names in film.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, what year was The Shining, right? Like that was one of Jack Nicholson's big ones.
I want to say that was in the 80s.
That sounds right.
But I wouldn't be able to put a date to that. We haven't done The Shining for this, have we?
Well, because we'd already seen it.
Yeah, we've both seen it and loved it, I believe.
I thought it was pretty good, yeah.
Anyway, this isn't about The Shining. No, it's not even strictly about Jack Nicholson.
No.
Why don't you tell me what you've got there in front of you?
Well, first I wanted to talk about the director.
Normally we talk about the director last.
It's true, but this is the order I wrote down my notes in.
Okay.
So the reason that I think that I wrote this down kind of early is because this is a name that we have known and loved.
Turtletaub?
No. One day Turtletaub might make a re-entry into the BLTN universe, but for now, this episode's director is Rob Reiner.
Oh.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Rob Reiner.
Yeah, and his wife. So we've actually already done a few of his movies for the pod.
Yes.
We did Misery and When Harry Met Sally.
Yes.
Both really good movies.
And When Harry Met Sally, I think, still stands as our highest rated film.
Possibly. I haven't quite checked in on our rankings recently.
I'm excited. Like A Few Good Men, when we lined it up, I was like, oh yeah, this will be good. Now I'm like, oh, this will be good.
Other notable movies, we've talked about them before, so I won't linger long, but we've loved The Princess Bride as a standout for me of movies that he did.
Of course.
And then there's actually a few of his movies, I was looking at his filmography, that I think will be on the list later down the line, such as This Is Spinal Tap and Stand By Me. I know that both of those have, followings.
I mean, they've got their moments in history.
Yeah. I mean, he was a pretty legendary film person in many ways.
Yeah.
So, interestingly, normally we only really talk about the director. And sometimes the director is also the writer and the producer. But in this case, the writer is a guy called Aaron Sorkin.
Sorkin rings a bell, that name.
So you might recognize him because he has done a lot of stuff over time, like writing and stuff. He's a writer. I don't know. I think writing is his main thing.
Yeah.
But so he wrote the play that this film is based on.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this was a stage play first.
It was. So he adapted his own play, basically.
Yeah.
Sold the rights to the film, but also got the privilege of being the one to adapt it, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
He wrote much of the original story on cocktail napkins while bartending at the Palace Theatre in Broadway.
Name something more Hollywood than
right,
that.
Exactly.
Although Broadway, this means to be New York.
Correct. So. And the play is also it is based on events that actually took place at the Guantanamo Bay Naval Base in July 1986.
Yeah, right.
Although various details were changed for dramatic purposes, of course.
As you do.
Film.
Yeah, as you do.
So Sorkin, interestingly, we actually have done a film that he wrote before. We did Moneyball.
Okay, maybe that's where I knew the name from.
Possibly. And another interesting thing is he is also the creator, of the TV show The West Wing. which was a huge hit.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen The West Wing.
I've seen like the first episode, that's like a big TV show,
Yeah,
you know,
political
that people
drama.
exactly. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting because as a writer, that's a pretty prolific history of success, and selling your play to be made into a film that does really well and all of it. You know, this kind of took him to the next level, so to speak.
Yeah,
you know, because apparently the deal was like in the six figures.
I mean that makes sense.
Film adaptation
for a big film. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I wrote for him. We also have the fact that it was nominated for Best Picture, but did lose to a Clint Eastwood film that year called Unforgiven, which I have never heard of and never seen.
I've never heard of that. Yeah.
So maybe that should be on the list as well.
I do like that. Sometimes we are watching the runner-up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is really interesting because quite a few times now we've gone. It didn't win the Oscar for Best Picture in its year. And what it lost to, I've never seen and also maybe never heard of.
Right, more forgotten to history than this.
It's real. Who was that guy who came second in Australian Idol? Shannon Knoll. Was it Shannon Knoll?
Yeah, but I think Guy Sebastian has still been way more successful than Shannon Knoll.
Yeah, but like the Australian Idol of it all, like sometimes the person who comes in second on Australian Idol does just better sometimes, a lot of it. And I remember at the time when Shannon Knoll won, when Guy Sebastian won, some of Shannon Knoll's releases after that were just pretty big bangers. Guy Sebastian obviously stayed the course for much longer. Like, you know.
Some might say he was more talented in the end. Anyway, this is not an Australian Idol
runner-up situation.
So last but not least, let's talk about this cast. So like you said, we've got Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
But we also have Tom Cruise.
Ah, that's the lawyer.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I don't know. I have no idea.
Because I could picture just like a generic white dude. I'm like, who's the generic white dude? Of course it's Tom Cruise.
Well, something that I think I wrote down about Tom Cruise from the Wikipedia for this movie is that he modeled his performance on the Church of Scientology chairman, David Miscavige.
That's really interesting.
Who is a good friend of his. He also insisted that they use the church's clear sound reproduction technology, which he claimed captured his voice better. So he basically MLM'd his way with that with the movie. I guess he was a big enough actor to, demand that kind of thing. Anyway, it'll be interesting to hear. I don't know if that implies that they only used it for him and no one else.
It might
or
be
if
the kind of
for everyone.
When they were shooting his shots and making him do his lines, maybe they used all the clear sound technology, and then also maybe they had backup mics just in case.
Right, and who knows what takes they used? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Anyway. On the editing floor, they went, some of these audio takes just didn't. They came out all weird. So
they just put a clear sound sticker over the
Dolby Digital, just covered up with masking tape.
Yeah. So that's funny. It's always funny when the Church of Scientology raises its head alongside Tom Cruise like an ugly stepfather.
I do wonder how many other films that has happened to, because he's been in a lot of films and not just ones he's bankrolled. That's really interesting.
Other cast, we have Demi Moore. Of course, she was, a young actress at this point. She was in Ghost, and most recently she was really big in The Substance, which we haven't seen.
Yeah, I'm struggling to picture Demi Moore.
That's all right. She was married to Ashton Kutcher for a while. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's not going to help you.
No.
We also have Kevin Bacon.
Oh, the 6 Degrees guy.
He was also in Footloose and Apollo 13, which we watched.
Yeah.
And we also have Kiefer Sutherland.
That's the guy from Famous for 24, right?
Correct, yes. And the son of Donald Sutherland, who plays President Snow in The Hunger Games.
Yes.
But I actually was looking at Kiefer Sutherland's filmography because I was like, surely I've seen him in something, but I actually don't think I have.
No.
He's been in a fair bit, though.
Yeah.
And 24 is one of his biggest things. Like, he was in that for so many years. And,
I still have the cadence of the doot, 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 from the 24, like, cutscene bit. It's burned into me.
I'd love to know what you were talking about.
So
I get it. One day I'll watch 24.
You won't.
Hey, maybe I will. You don't know me.
You're not missing out. It was a product of the time.
Okay. 2 names that came a bit further down the cast list, but I wrote them down because my impression, based on where they are on the cast list, is they might be quite small actors. as in small parts of this movie, but they've become much larger actors since, is Noah Wyle, of course.
Oh,
from
yeah.
ER. Oh, I suppose he was already an actor because he was in ER.
But that's TV actor.
It's TV actor. This may be a small film role, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Cuba Gooding Jr.
That does ring a bell.
Well, I wrote down the thing I know we've both seen him in, which he was OJ in The People vs. OJ.
Oh, yeah.
In that TV show.
Miniseries? Yeah.
Yeah.
I vaguely recall that. The only thing I know is that had Ross Geller play the lawyer. That's
David Schwimmer.
I know that's such a...
So many degrees deep of misunderstanding. Well, not misunderstanding, but mischaracterization.
Yeah. I knew it as soon as I was going to say it. I knew that you would know who I'm talking about, and at the same time, you would be disappointed in me.
Anyway.
David Schwimmer. Yeah, that's the only face and name I remember, and I don't even remember the name from the...
Cuba Gooding Jr. Played OJ. Anyway, so... Quite a few big names, though, obviously. Cruise, Nicholson, etc.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited because a lot of those people have pretty good acting chops as far as I'm aware and concerned.
So, aside from, we've talked about the cast, do you know anything about the plot of this film?
Well, I know that I can't handle the truth.
Yeah. I only know that Nicholson is some sort of ranking officer, and that he gets interrogated on the stand by Tom Cruise, the lawyer, I believe.
So I know a little bit. I don't know how... I sort of unavoidably saw a little bit of plot-relevant stuff when I was looking at where the inspiration came from of the original...
But before you took your notes, I mean...
Yeah.
Did you know anything about this film?
I was pretty sure it was a legal film. Like, it involved the courts and the army, and that's about it.
I actually thought it was an action film that ended up,
really?
that finished up in the court. I thought that was like a final scene situation. So I'm interested to find out that this is a legal drama. Mm-hmm. Cool. Well.
That's really all there is to say. I don't know the ins and outs of the plot, so I'm keen to find out.
What's our runtime? What are you looking at?
A bit over 2 hours.
Ugh. I get so excited when it's an older film that we might be looking at like a 90-minute special. Like, what a delicious time that'd be.
Our attention spans are cooked, folks.
Well, yeah, the clue should have been that it's a drama film. Drama films tend to run a little bit longer.
They do.
So hopefully...
I think like 238 minutes.
238 minutes?
Or maybe, 138 minutes. That sounds
thank God.
Sorry. I got my wires crossed for 2 hours is what my head was saying, but it's 138 minutes.
138 minutes, I guess, like, that's doable. If the drama of it all is tense enough that you're not watching the clock, I feel like
exactly,
we can get through it. Yeah.
You shouldn't feel it to be a long movie if it's a good movie at that length.
Especially, like, if it's got a good it's got a good story with lots of twists and turns that can sort of justify the time.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
Let's find out.
All right.
Let's see if there are indeed a few good men.
First, we find ourselves in the Marine base of Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, where a young man is beaten to an untimely death. The two perpetrators are assigned Daniel Caffey, a JAG Corps lieutenant, to defend them, alongside passionate co-counsel Joanne Galloway, who believes the two Marines were given an order that led to the crime. Despite being offered a plea deal, the two Marines insist they were ordered to carry out a, quote, code red, something their commanding officers staunchly deny. After several back-and-forth wins and losses in the courtroom, Caffey gets the base commander, Colonel Nathan Jessup, under cross-examination. Pushing him to his emotional peak, Jessup incriminates himself, clearing the Marines of the worst of their charges. Here's some deeper thoughts on the matter.
Turns out it was Colonel Jessup who couldn't handle the truth.
Well, I mean, Caffey only wanted answers.
Which included the truth.
It was pretty good. The whole lead up to the line that we knew was coming. Mm-hmm. It was like
a satisfying lead up.
Yeah, it was like a will they, won't they, but
but we know they will.
We know that. Well, but like, they will and a will they, won't they, but like how they get there. Sorry, we're being yelled at by a cat. But in the way that they built up to it was, pretty special. Like, I didn't realize Caffey was risking getting a court-martial, and it could be like the end in his career before it had even begun.
Right.
That kind of added a lot of stakes, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah, tension's always good. I really thought that all of the scenes, the courtroom scenes, were done pretty well. I am a fan of court dramas in general.
Yeah.
So It makes sense.
It did have that nice like balance of, on one hand, it felt like we were watching an NCIS episode, like a long one during the investigation part, because like NCIS episodes have that like investigation and then they have the like forensic part. And this was like they had the investigation part and then the legal court part.
Right.
Which I imagine, having not seen much of it, there was a legal drama in the 90s called JAG, which is, I am sure, just this movie in episodic format.
I would reckon so, or similar cases, yeah, for sure.
I know that JAG used to be on TV a lot when I was a kid, and like the like main actor and main actress from JAG had the same energy as Kaffee and Lawrence. Was her name?
Joanne, but yeah.
Lieutenant Commander Joanne.
I really struggle with military names because they all have 3 names. They all
Yeah.
have like the title and then first name, last name, and then they'd get called each one kind of
Interchangeably.
And I'm not bad with names, but even that I struggle with. Like, I
mean-
had to ask you at some point who
And I got it
someone
wrong
was.
because of the same reason. I thought Matheson, I think it was. I thought that was Jack Nicholson's character.
Yeah, but it was actually the other guy
Yeah.
in the room.
And
Anyway,
so I'm not even sure Matheson's the right name. Kendrick.
well, Kendrick was the one that gave the order. That was Kiefer Sutherland. You know what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We all know who they were by face.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least
yeah.
I did.
Yeah. Well, there was Jack, Kiefer, and then the guy with glasses.
Yeah, who I don't know which. I'm apologies to this man,
Yeah.
but I do not remember your actor's name.
Yeah.
But all did a pretty good job.
Yeah. There wasn't anybody who had a performance that was lackluster. You could argue that the 2 young lads playing the Marines had a pretty but like they did stoic very well.
I think the idea, what I understood what you mean. I kind of had that thought when the first few scenes that they were in, right, where they basically have very little facial expression.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think the concept that was trying to be gotten across is that they're so sort of beaten down in submission and they're just sort of this blank slate to be given orders to.
Yeah.
That was the effect that they were trying to portray.
Yeah, did a good job of
And
it.
that worked well.
It is a very morally like nobody won, really.
Sure.
Like these guys didn't go to jail for murder,
Right.
which they, manslaughter, I guess, because they attacked a guy but it was under orders.
Yeah,
Like,
there was no premeditation
Right.
or intent to kill.
and so like nobody wins, right?
No.
And they get kicked out of the army, and they both love the army. Or sorry, they get kicked out of the
Navy.
Marines.
Yeah.
And they live for that. So that sucks for them. It sucks for, was it Santana?
Santiago, the guy that died.
It sucks for Santiago because he got killed.
Yeah. And also, like, he had a horrible time leading up to that.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't listened to and was under the thumb of this fascist buddy guy who,
Yeah.
lived for
He's
the
like-
thrill of being in charge.
Yeah, you can just run harder and do better.
Yeah.
There was one throwaway line after they do like the cross-examination with the medical professional out
doctor,
there,
yeah.
the doctor, and he's like, "No, I checked him. He had a clean bill of health." Mm-hmm. And they go back to the apartment after that day where it didn't go quite as they'd hoped that it would.
Yeah.
The older lawyer, whose name I didn't catch at all through the entire thing,
Yeah.
Kaffee's like offsider who had the kid,
Yeah.
and that was apparently his whole personality. He said something like, "Don't worry, the doctor's trial starts on Monday."
Well, I think that was when they were going to cross-examine him. Monday was when the defense got to start calling witnesses.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, so was the implication that the doctor was separately about to have a new trial against him for something?
I'm not sure. It might have just been a bit of a turn of phrase of saying it's our turn now
Yeah,
to
well,
do
that's what I thought, but I wonder, because by all accounts, it looks like that doctor
lied.
made the mistake that led to this young man's death.
Or was convinced by, I think, because they said that he had a meeting with
Yes.
Jessup.
Yeah.
So he was probably threatened into lying
Yeah.
or convinced or whatever.
But I guess that's what I'm saying is like the 2 young Marines who, yes, they literally tied the tape around the guy's face and feet and killed him.
Yeah.
And therefore it is somewhat fitting that they share some of the punishment because a reasonable human doesn't do that even under orders. They shouldn't, but
Right.
that's the military, I guess. But this doctor who should have discharged Santiago because of his medical condition that he didn't diagnose because you know, like he missed that. There's no comeuppance for him. That's very unsatisfying for me.
Yeah, I mean, look, well, they don't show us any of Jessup's trial either, which we assume happens, right?
Well, but I mean, the doctor doesn't even get arrested. Do you know what I
All
mean?
that we know of.
Right.
I mean, they kind of make a passing comment at the end that other guy's even going to go get arrested now too. So there's going to be some, like, the ball has only just begun rolling, you know?
Yeah.
So
who do you think the few good men were? Because, like, sometimes we watch a movie and then, like, that's the line of the movie.
yeah.
That's what they say it. But, you know.
I don't know. I think the implication is I feel like it's almost a play on the term that evil wins when good men do nothing or something like that. Like it reminds me of that, at least in
interesting.
meaning, right? Because in this case, you've got these two young men who followed, or they did not stand up to evil.
Yeah.
And therefore, even though they aren't necessarily bad people, evil won. Like this guy, this young kid died because they didn't stand up to evil, right? I don't know if that's, and I guess then you could argue that Tom Cruise is a few good men because he did choose to kind of put his own reputation and job and all of that at risk, and then simultaneously, all their team, Joanne and guy with kid whose name we can't remember.
Guy with kid. In the credits, it's like Joanne and Kathy, and then
No, he has a name. It's like Lieutenant
kid.
something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my assumption. I mean, who else is the few good men? There's really no other.
But like, I wonder if it's almost like, because the three executives, right? Jack Nicholson's character and his XO and like his staff sergeant or whatever Kendrick was. Those three scenes. I wonder if those are the few good men, because they are quintessential Marines. They're the ones who stand on the wall and guard against the darkness and let you sleep with the blanket of freedom, as Mr. Nicholson so eloquently put it.
Right.
And like, are they the few good men? Because they're the ones doing...
And it's kind of not a tongue-in-cheek, but it's drawing attention to the fact that they may not be actually good men. Is that what you're saying? Like, that's what the title is referring to?
Right, like, because to do what they do, they can't be wholly good.
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to ask Aaron Sorkin.
Maybe it's like every writer who gives something a title and he was like, I just thought it sounded cool.
He's like, someone's like, you got to give it a title, Aaron. He's like, they're like, you just need a few good words for the title. A few good men.
What's the play about? It's just men.
A few good men. I thought that the music was good. It was very appropriately kind of, it had the military vibes throughout, which
the, like,
was
marching
appropriate.
band and the bits and pieces.
And the swells and all the right places.
I mean, it was a legal drama and it had the score fitting of a legal drama.
For sure.
Also of the era, like the early 90s, late 80s, you know, the atmospheric, like, you could have thrown a dart right into the center of the dartboard of, I don't know, some strings for an early 90s drama film. It really was quintessential.
Yeah. I thought that it also had that quintessential, a couple of 90s fade to black moments, which I thought were great.
Oh, my favorite one was the jump forward in the court scene where they started off after opening statements and then like went to the first witness, and then the camera pans across and a column obscures the camera's view, and then
witness.
And then it's new witness and time has passed. It's like, that's a classic. That's a Rob Reiner tried and true. That one is, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I thought that there was some implication of a possible romance between Kathy and Joanne.
I'm glad that it wasn't like a big on-screen deal.
Me too. I'm glad that they didn't take it further and like really make it a critical part of the plot, because it didn't need it.
He's also not like that likable.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise's character. Like,
well, I think he's meant to be, I mean, his character is sort of the most complex, really, because he has this whole thing of he's been doing this for his father and he doesn't really believe in it and he's skating through. I mean, Joanne kind of clocks him on it pretty early on, being like, you're just going to do the few years you have to do and then go and get a real job, quote unquote. Right? But then obviously by the end of the movie, he sort of has this, I actually do want to make my father proud, and it turns out I actually am a good lawyer and maybe I should give it a go kind of vibe.
Yeah, but at the same time, he still is a hotshot lawyer.
Yeah.
And has all of the...
He looks so young.
He's so young.
It's... I feel like I'm reaching that age where I can now look at someone playing a mid-20s person and being like, you shouldn't have these jobs. Like, this is incorrect.
Yeah, like, it's like, how are these people in charge of anything?
Yeah.
How are they responsible? What? They're literally children. Yeah, no, it's a scary thought. And I'm sure Jack Nicholson thought the same.
Yeah, for sure. It's Joanne Galloway, by the way.
Galloway. Yeah, I was thinking like Gallagher or Callison or something, but yeah, Galloway. And what about Man with Baby? Old lawyer with baby.
Sam Weinberg. And he's also not that old.
No, I know, but
I think he's meant to be in his mid-30s.
Could be standing next to a literal child.
Yeah.
In Tom Cruise. So
I think my favorite thing about this movie as a whole was the dialogue. I think the dialogue was very good, both believable in that there was some good monologues. So there was some outbursts from like Caffey, obviously, when he's been drinking and he's like over it. That was a good monologue. The most uncomfortable but very well done dialogue was when Colonel
Nicholson's character,
Colonel Jessup, they're in Cuba.
Yeah.
And
just after lunch.
Yeah, and he does that horribly misogynistic discussion.
Yeah, like
with
dressing down
Galloway.
of Galloway. Yeah, Galloway. Sorry.
And that was awful, but very believable for a man in power who truly has, he's really making a joke of entertaining her presence at all.
Yeah.
Her character was really, I thought it was good that obviously her character is meant to be this very headstrong but good at her job and will kind of push through no matter what kind of energy.
Yeah, her drive was an interesting one for me because I didn't quite understand it. Like, put it in perspective, Tom Cruise's character was like, my daddy was this big shot trial lawyer and he wanted me to go into the Navy and he's passed away, so I'm going to do it for him, but I'm not really going to put my heart into it. But I'm still like a Harvard hotshot. Yeah. So this is easy. And then character development happens. Mm-hmm. But for her, we pick her up in Internal Affairs, where it comes to light later that she wasn't a very good trial lawyer, so they sort of put her there to write. And she's since done well as an investigative person within the Navy.
But she's not the best in court.
Yeah, but so like she comes in right at the start of the story with this whole like, I think it's a code red situation.
Right.
And that's the bit where it's like, I mean, I guess you have to suspend disbelief for a bit of plot for a reason that maybe she's been chasing up this, ISB, Internal Affairs, Code Red is tearing apart the Navy, old guard thing.
Sure. I mean, maybe she's just heard of it. I think the implication is that, because they say that she's a really good investigator, right? That she can, that's her bread and butter and what she's good at. And so that paired with the fact that she doesn't want to see these guys put away for something that she doesn't really believe they're responsible for truly, or at least that's not the full story, is really she's just a bulldog for the truth and for justice. And that she originally obviously wanted to head it up, but ends up being sort of supporter to Caffey's,
trial law approach.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought she did a good job.
Yeah.
I enjoyed her performance. Jack Nicholson did a great job of being a horrible, horrible villain.
Like, so convincing. It makes me want to watch more Jack Nicholson films just because he makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But like in a way that like I'm in the comfort of my own home being made scared. Like, I'm okay with that. And like, it is fascinating to watch somebody. He does this thing in the trial scene where he is, he thinks he's getting away with it and he's giving Tom Cruise's character Caffey the stare and he's like, dressing him down like a superior officer would to a junior officer or a soldier. And he's got this like dead, beady-eyed stare and he doesn't blink.
I mean, it's like a Kubrick stare.
Yeah, it's honestly.
Because didn't Kubrick do The Shining?
Yeah.
And that's, so I think
holdover from that. Anyway, it's unnerving.
He learned that and he went with it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's really good. So, yeah, he didn't have a whole lot of lines, but the two really big scenes he was in.
Very impactful for sure. It definitely makes me sad to think about just how many people there are high up in the military that are like that and believe that kind of what they do is just above law and whatever because they have this sort of God-given right to defend or whatever it is that they believe in.
Yeah, truth and justice prevails. What was it Kiefer Sutherland's character was saying? I respect only two authorities, my commander and God.
Yeah.
And there is no in between.
Yeah.
So it's like if If he thinks his commander is giving the right an order, it's done. If he thinks this instruction is coming down from God, you better help yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a scary thing because people are fanatical about that stuff, and it's kind of like, well, I don't know, like go outside. I don't know.
It's hard to screen for that as well because it can happen over years, and also that tends to draw people to places of power when they have those kind of inclinations.
Not to mention, the military has
cult-like tendencies. Yeah.
I was going to say like the rigor of routine attracts a certain type of person, and that works for them, and power to them.
It reminded me how terrifying the thought of being in the military is to me. Just the stuff that people go through in like training and then regular life of living in the military, it sounds like my personal hell.
I love you. I don't think
I'd make it.
I don't think you have to be afraid of being in the military. Because
I know.
Even if they brought in conscription, they'd be like, and Beck, how many push-ups and pull-ups and how many miles can you run and what's your O2? Actually, you know what?
Get into this wheelchair. We'll take you back ourselves. No, I'm not. I don't feel like I'm at risk, but it just sounds so awful. Like, and I feel bad for, like, obviously, I know there have always been reasons why people weren't accepted into the military, but there have been historical times when people who weren't necessarily cut out for it were then still forced to be in it for various reasons.
I mean, like, yeah, if it's the only job you can get and you've got to keep it because it's how it's your... There is I mean, in the US especially, not just in the US, but other countries as well, but we see it most prolifically in the US, how it's like, it's sometimes your only option.
Because they offer to pay for university or college or whatever.
I mean...
After, like,
not even talking about that, like, you get housing and food.
Sorry, yeah, not just that. Yeah, you're right. It's even more basic than that. It's just here's like, how you can survive or provide.
But yeah, a bit of both. So
anyway, that's with that depressing thought aside.
So on the tail of that depressing thought, it's interesting that this movie was based on a play from the events of the 80s.
Yeah, so this was a real thing that happened. Well, so the guy in question, I'm trying to remember what I read because I don't want to look it back up, but basically there was a real incident, like a Code Red-esque thing that involved more than 2 guys, or like 10 guys, V1.
Yep.
The guy didn't die, but obviously he was injured or whatever. There was a situation. 7 of the guys pled guilty or not. They took the on the chin, whatever they were being handed down. And 3 of them said, no, I was following orders. So they went to court.
Yeah.
And then the result of that ended up being that they were charged with a much lesser, like basically just an assault, and then got time served and were able to go back to serving and then were honorably discharged later. So they were never dishonored. In fact, one of the guys was so upset that in the movie they were dishonorably discharged that he tried to sue the filmmakers.
Which, like, that's fair enough because it's like, this is based on a true story, so much so that misrepresenting the justice that person felt that they fought for in their version of events.
Do you want to know a crazy extra detail?
Go on.
That guy who was upset about the film's misrepresentation of the case, he went missing a couple of years after the film came out and was found murdered. And they never found his killer.
Maybe we shouldn't release this podcast. You know what? Rob Reiner, great director. Loved this film. Everything about it was right. Jack Nicholson, not a scary guy. Love him as my grandpa. Everything's good. US military, you guys doing good work out
Jack
there.
Nicholson would be the scariest grandpa ever. Have you seen photos of him at basketball games?
Yes.
Can you imagine going home to Christmas and being like, go say hi to Pop?
No, see, okay.
And it's Jack Nicholson.
Part of the reason I think he looks so scary is because he's famous enough and rich enough that he doesn't need to like care what people think. And the second part is sometimes I reckon you get to that point where you're like, I don't want to be recognized, so I'm not going to, try and like, I'm going to put on a cap and sunglasses and scarf. And so the combination of those two things has just made him look extra scary. And also we associate him with The Shining.
Yeah. And things like this.
And so like, but I think he's probably a really nice guy.
Well, I don't know. I'm not. You know what?
Don't look it up. Don't look it
I
up.
have stopped saying that anyone in Hollywood is a nice person
Yep. Don't look it up. Let's say
until they personally give me $10 million. And then that's my price.
That's your
That's
price.
my price to say you're a good person
So
on this
Elon
podcast.
Musk gives you $10 million. He's a nice guy. Chat. Let the record show that Beck looks trapped behind the eyes.
But I'll have my fingers crossed. I'll say it. Anyway. I think this was a good movie. I think it did everything it needed to do. From what I've read about the real story, I really would be interested to know how this was as a stage play.
Yeah.
I think it would have done well because I feel like courtroom scenes are really good fodder for stage plays because they have the right theatricality, and also sort of presence that a stage play requires. And you can do a great set, right?
You do a couple of great sets. I really like the ones because I've seen a few scenes, not of this, but of like courtroom stage plays, where the audience is positioned as the jury. So that way, when the counsel are giving their arguments, they have an excuse just to turn towards the audience and, monologue, basically, which is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see the only things that would be kind of challenging, obviously they had vehicles and they were out and did some stuff in the street.
But we don't know how much of that was new for the movie and not in the stage play. That's the thing.
Broadly, if you think of it, most of there was the Cuba scene and then there was...
But the plot mostly took place in the courtroom.
The courtroom and the apartment, and then a few other locations. So you could have flash. I could see it happening for stage really quite well.
Yeah.
And it is really interesting when you see something that was written for stage, and so it only has a perfectly reasonable amount of sets and not a bunch of locations.
Yeah.
That actually transfers through to the movie, and that there really weren't too many locations.
No.
The motel was a standout location for 10 seconds.
Could see that coming a mile off, by the way.
Yeah. Well, no. To be fair, I thought, and I think we both thought, he was going to get murdered.
Well, yeah, but then when he said, because he apologizes, this is the guy that takes his own life because he feels so guilty that he couldn't stand up and be a few good men about it all.
Yeah.
He says something to Kathy, which is like, I am sorry for what I did and what I am doing.
Yes.
And at that point, I was like,
yeah.
He doesn't plan to be around for the rest of this trial, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Was this one of Tom Cruise's first films?
No, I think he'd already done Top Gun. Let me check. Because Top Gun's an 80s movie, I'm pretty sure. No, I think he'd done a few different films. Because his debut film was a bit part in a 1981 film called Endless Love. That he did something called Taps. Then he did The Outsiders. And then All the Right Moves and Risky Business.
So Risky Business is the first one I
maybe one of his
recognize.
first big ones. Then he did a Ridley Scott film called Legend. And then in 86 he did Top Gun.
Crazy.
And Top Gun, I think, that's by Top Gun, he had been cemented, according to Wikipedia, as a superstar.
So he looked so young in this film. I was like, oh, maybe this is really early on. But yeah, he's already been acting for 10 years.
I mean, he was born in 62, so he was 30.
Wow.
He's always looked pretty youthful, right?
Yeah.
So, he is an actor. It kind of behooves you to look good for a long time.
Yeah,
That's
wow.
kind of the whole point of Hollywood. For better or for worse, right?
Just the whole film, I was like, he's got to be mid-20s or younger.
Yeah. it's funny because he looks the same age as the two guys that he's defending.
Yes.
And they're meant to be teenagers or at least early 20s.
Yeah.
The other guy's meant to be in his early 20s.
I think they're 19, 21 kind of.
Yeah.
That's what I get from because Harold was slightly more senior.
Yeah.
Was the takeaway.
I thought that was well done. The younger guy, Downey, and how he's this kind of unintelligent farm kid that doesn't know what he's doing and how he gets caught out. That was all very believable and real of how people...
That was a good twist.
Yeah. All of the cross-examination and examination was really well done because they each got kind of one-ups on each other throughout it, depending on how they question them.
My favorite one was the book, show me the book where the code red is and that whole bit. And then
Show me where the mess hall is.
Kathy takes the book, show me where the mess hall is. It's like, well, I just follow the other guys where the chow is. And it's like, yep, okay, you got me. That's who that was.
Noah Wiley had his day in court. All right, we should rate this film.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. Rob Reiner did well, the cast did well, the score was fine, the story was interesting, the twists were good. I think I'm ready to rate it.
Yeah, right.
You better not steal mine. You went first last episode, so I'm going to go first this time.
Okay.
I'm going to rate this 8.1 good men out of 10.
Very good.
That's just a few good men.
Just a few. I think it's more than a few. That's a handful. Doesn't sound as good on paper though.
Yeah. What's his name? Alex Scorsese? Alex Schetti?
Aaron Sorkin?
Aaron Sorkin probably went 8.1 good men. Doesn't
Otherwise known as Aaron Spaghetti or Alex Spaghetti. God. Oh dear. I'm going to rate this film 8.2 softball bats in the closet out of 10.
I really thought at that moment, by the way, like when he first looked in the closet and the clothes weren't put away, I was like, oh, he knows. He's worked it out. And then when they had the lunch with Jessup,
You thought he'd bring it up.
No. I thought he'd worked it out. And the reason he'd asked about the flight was to catch him out and make him forge the thing. So then he could be like, oh, you've said this thing with the flight and the thing. But he wasn't packed. And it didn't come up until way later. So much later that I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah. And you called it.
Turns
out you should be a lawyer.
An investigative lawyer. I'd be so bad.
You wouldn't recognize a face
exactly
for your life.
I'd be like, let the court tell me who is on the stand so that I can question them.
That's your client, sir. Oh, no.
No. That said, like, I'd be a terrible witness as well. They'd be like, do you recognize the defendant?
No.
So which one's the defendant? The man sitting to your right. Oh, have we met before? This is the. I mean, gosh. I'm glad crimes don't happen around me. I would be in so much trouble.
Yeah. Well, that was a good, serious film to follow up our funny from last week.
Yeah, what do you think we're going to do next week, Beck?
Well, if we follow our cycling of genres, we should do something classic.
Not something.
So maybe something old.
Not something a little bit scary.
Well, I was thinking the week after. Go scary then funny.
Yeah, okay. No, I like your moxie. That's good. Yep. So
something classic.
Something classic. I mean,
something maybe that's older than 40 years or older. That's our definition of classic.
That is 86 or older.
Right. So this wouldn't quite qualify.
Not quite. Interesting. Risky business, mate.
That helps narrow it down.
It does.
Let us know if you have a suggestion for a movie that is 40 years or more older for us to watch for next week.
Or 40 years or more younger.
For future weeks. And if you've seen A Few Good Men, let us know. We'd like to find them. We'll talk at you next week.
You can catch us wherever you get your podcasts. Pocket Casts, Spotify, Pigeon.
If you can find a pigeon that'll give you our podcast, let us know.
Anyway, this has been the Better Late Than Never Club.
Meeting adjourned.
We'll talk at you next time.
This episode of the Better Late Than Never Club is brought to you by our patrons. Alex, Christopher, Lindy, Matthew, Rachel, Nathan, and Seraph.
And also our members, Amos, Andrew, Elizabeth, Raina, Salty Pond, and Simon.
Thank you for listening.